brains. Welcome today. Now, I'm going to guess that you're tuning in because you are either interested in the rewire your brain part or the easy singing part or both. So I know brain hacks are all the rage. I get that. And honestly, if you are a little skeptical of brain hacks, don't be, because they really are a thing. Most things you can make easier if you know a little bit about how brains work. Now, I know you should always fact check on the internet, but you know what? That's not that hard, you guys. Easy to fact check. You can fact check my stuff. I don't care. So nearly everything that you do can be done more easily or more efficiently or both if you know a little bit about how brains work. So, and that's what we're going to talk about today. If you're here with me today, I'm delighted. If you're watching on the replay, that is great. I'm Meredith Colby. I am the author of Money Notes, How to Sing High, Loud, Healthy, and Forever, which introduces neurovocal, a way to approach singing for popular styles that is based on brain science. My popular workshop, How to Teach High Rock Belt, is going to happen a couple of times in August, so I hope you can join me for that. If you are on my mailing list, you will get the biggest discount that anybody's going to get. If you follow me on the socials, you get some discounts as well. There'll be promo codes, so don't pay full price, friends. Just don't. Be on my mailing list. Get the best discount. If you are here with me today or on the replay, please be generous. Hearts. Hearts, thumbs, hashtag that. Or comments, any of that stuff. It helps me, and I show up here. I put on makeup for you, so click the heart thing. Anyway, yeah, I don't put on makeup very often. I just want you to know. Today I have a freebie. I usually have freebies, and I offer free things during my live stream, and I send them to people who are on my mailing list. So I just want you to know that if you're on my mailing list, you get the free stuff automatically, poof, like magic, in your inbox. And you also get it on the replay. So today I'm offering an article called The Curse of the Smart and Talented, which is kind of pretty much what we're going to talk about today. It's about how brains work in creating new motor behaviors, and it's really accessible. I think if you know me at all, you know I like to talk about fancy brain stuff in really accessible ways because I believe it helps us to just know a little bit, and I don't think we should be scared of science. Anyway, so that's today. The article comes with a colorful and attractive printout that you can have if you want, that will help you make a case to your clients in your studio about why you're having them do the same thing over and over again. I'm here to help. You're welcome. If you want to get on my mailing list and you are not already on my mailing list, you can go to neurovocalmethod.com and you'll get a free thing signing up there. Or you can DM me if it's Facebook or Instagram. If you are on YouTube, you can look below in the description and there'll be a link there, or you can just type it into your search engine, neurovocalmethod.com. Poof, you'll get a beautiful landing page with free stuff. Now, let's talk brains. Boom! I'm going to talk about 3 things today about brains that I think will help you as a voice professional. The first thing we're going to talk about today is that brains can't not do things. Brains can't not do things, which sounds a little bit weird, but here's the deal. Your brain works with neurochemicals, but they're signaled and they're triggered by bioelectric energy. So it's real electricity. It's kind of the same stuff that runs through the walls of your house. Think about that light switch. The light switch is either allowing the flow of energy, of electricity, or it is not, right? So it's either the valve is either open or it's closed, and then it's not allowing the flow. It's not rejecting the electricity and sending it back where it came from. That's not happening. In a similar way, actions are stimulated or not. So your brain sends a message or it doesn't. Positive or neutral. There's no negative as far as your brain is concerned. So instructions or intentions will be more effective if they are positive. They are stated in the positive. So in other words, do a thing, and not don't do a thing. Like, how often do we say, don't do this thing, even to ourselves, don't do that. But that is not how your brain works. So for example, let's say you're saying to your student, they're going to the top of the phrase and the word is need, and they're getting really like kind of this piercing, strident sound on that E vowel. And you want to say to them, you know what, do that again, but don't make that E vowel so piercing and strident. Those are good words today. That's not going to work. Don't say that to your student. Look at that. I just did it. I just told you don't do that. Here's what you should do. Here's the positive thing. Instead of saying, don't do this, say, don't even address that. Just say, you know what? Let's do this phrase again. And when you get to the top of that phrase on that E vowel, here's what I want you to do. Okay? So the light switch is on. It's on or it's neutral. Remember that. Okay? So that's one thing. Brains do one thing at a time. Oh, no, that's the other thing. The other thing is, sorry, there it is. Brains, I'm laughing at myself. Okay, brains do one thing at a time. Now, you probably like to think, as most of us do, that you are able to multitask. But no, you cannot multitask. No. Nobody, actually, there are some people who can multitask, but they are like less than 1% of the population. Chris is offering us some language that I kind of love. She says to her clients, I invite you to try. So using my example, she would say, I'd invite you to try opening your mouth a little on that E vowel, right? So that's beautiful, Chris. Thank you so much for sharing that. So brains do one thing at a time, which means that you are not actually multitasking. What's really happening is that you are switching your attention very, very quickly from one thing to another. And that happens all the time. And it's a good thing we're able to do that. I mean, if we couldn't do that, we wouldn't be able to drive, for instance. Our brains are always switching our attention. But when we want a new skill or we want to absorb new knowledge in some way, it behooves us, and that may be the only time you hear the word behoove today, just saying, it behooves us to focus our attention on the thing that matters, because that's the best way that our brains can work in terms of creating new memories, which we're going to get to in a second. Okay. So that in neurovocal training, we call that focusing your attention spotlight. That's not the only place it is referred to in that way by any means. Other people say that too, but I'm just saying focusing your attention spotlight is a very powerful tool. Now, the third thing we're going to talk about is types of memory. This is all going to come together in the end, I promise. Soren is here. What? Soren, I'm so glad you're here. And he says, that's why I always stop chewing gum when crossing the street. And we thank you for that. And your daughter thanks you for that because it's kept you alive. So here we are, 3 kinds of memories. Okay. Now, depending on who you're talking to, there are different names for these. I'll include some of them, but not all of them, okay? There are basically kinds of memories. The first is called declarative. So this is your memory for facts, for information, figures, dates, lyrics, that kind of thing, the kind of thing that you memorize, okay? That's declarative memory. Another kind of memory is called episodic memory, which is your memory for events. And then procedural memory, the star of our show today, procedural memory, which is also called motor memory or implicit memory. It is your unconscious long-term memory for how your body does things. That can be simple, like how do I walk? How do I walk up and down stairs? Or it can be complex. How do I rollerblade? How do I sing? It is built over time with repetition. Now, for skills that we want, and skills that we intend to execute in a certain way, like singing or ice skating, we must combine repetition with intention. So anytime we're building a procedural memory, it's going to require repetition. walking, for instance. But when we want to be intentional about it, we have to apply that intention to the behavior to get the outcome we want. And that has to happen over time. Now, we're going to wrap it up. We're going to wrap it up. So remember that I said that brains can only do one thing at a time. And that, well, I didn't do it in this order, did I? I said, here, let me see if I have things to remind me. I do. Good for me. Okay. Brains can only do one thing at a time. So you're not actually multitasking. You're quickly switching. Brains only do things, right? The switch is only on or neutral. On or neutral. It's never off. And procedural memory is something that is built over time through repetition and intention. Okay, now this doesn't sound like a hack, but it is a hack. And the reason that it's a hack is we almost never do these things. We almost never put these together. And it really is simple, and it really is a brain hack if you understand that you need to do these things. We almost never do one thing at a time, particularly with our clients. We ask them to do this, then this, then this, then this. We go, here's an exercise. And they start the exercise and we go, oh, let me correct you and do this other thing. And then they do a couple more. And then we go, you know what, let's do this. We'd add this or take that away. Or so we keep throwing balls into, they're juggling and we keep throwing balls at them. We also tell them not to do things, per my example before. That's another thing. And we do this with ourselves too. But I'm just talking about our clients today. And we also don't necessarily recognize that procedural memory is much more powerful when we can focus our attention spotlight. Again, the more things we're asking someone to do, the harder it is to create that procedural memory. You have to believe as an instructor that if you give someone this to do, and then this to do, and then this to do, and then this to do, one at a time, do this, practice, do this, practice, do this, practice. Over time, the brain's going to integrate that for them. They will find that happens because their intention is to sing. And you've built these individual skills with them that relate to singing that are going to become part of that motor memory for singing. But it will happen much, much faster if you do it one thing at a time. So just try it. Just try it. See if I'm right. Actually, Chris has tried it, so she knows I'm right. It really does work that way. So thank you very much for being here with me today. I appreciate it. Have a great week. Bye-bye.